Please. I always have to pause to make sure this is working. Hello, ladies. I am really excited. Let me see how I can get this in the frame. I'm really excited to talk to you all today. This past weekend, I had an epic toddler meltdown. Friday and going into Saturday morning. And when I coached myself through it, I thought about you guys and I thought, how can I share this experience and help somebody else out? How can I show people, how to get yourself out of like this negative spiral? So for me, it really started like it was like a series of events. You know how like when it feels like one thing goes wrong and everything goes wrong? So I wanted to show you guys what I do and then encourage you to start this practice. So what I'm going to show you today, and some of you that have been in this group for a while have seen me talk about this. My clients know this because this is what we do in coaching. And I teach this to my clients so that they can begin to self-coach themselves, because a lot can happen in 7 days. And so we have an hour a week where we're working through things and we're diving really deep. But I also want to equip them and to equip you with the ability to be able to really clearly start to see your thoughts. And again, the reason that that is so important is because your thoughts end up being your results. And I'm going to show you how in this self-coaching model. So the self-coaching model is a tool that was created by Brooke Castillo. Brooke Castillo is the founder and the owner of the Life Coach School, which is where I am certified as a life and weight coach. So this is actually her model, and she's very clear in saying that, she put this together from different resources, other life coaches, other information, but this is really how the world works. This is really God's design. She created this really amazing tool that makes it really visual. So I want to tell you about the parts of the model, okay? So this is just a tool that you can use. And now I use this every single day, and I'm going to show you how. The self-coaching model has 5 parts: circumstances, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. Now, circumstances are those things that are outside of our control. Circumstances are other people. They are your past. It could be the weather. It could be specific things that somebody said to you. A circumstance is going to be something that everybody would agree on, and you could prove it in a court of law. So these are facts. So when you're writing out your circumstance, it's never going to be like, I had a bad day. It's not going to have adjectives in it. It's very fact-based. And then you have thoughts. Thoughts are the sentences that run through your brain. We have them all day long. You have a million thoughts all day long. Most of the time we don't ever think about what our thoughts are, but our T line here is thoughts. And these are very subjective. Everybody's not going to agree on your thought. So for example, you might have a thought, I'm not good enough. That's a thought, right? Everybody's not going to agree with that thought that you're not good enough. So your thoughts then create a feeling. Feelings are the emotions or the vibrations that we experience in our body, and they are directly related to thoughts. Feelings are created from our thoughts. The reason this is important, and we've talked about that, y'all will hear me say it over and over again. The reason this is important is because most of us think that we feel a certain way because of a circumstance. He hurt my feelings, or I'm sad because the weather is bad, or, we associate feelings as coming from circumstances. If that were the case, then we wouldn't have any control, because we don't control these. But feelings are created from thoughts, which is really good news because you control your thoughts. So you have a thought, it creates a feeling, and from that feeling, you are driven to action or inaction. And then your actions give you your results. Everything that you have in life came from a thought. So ultimately, your thoughts give you your results in life. Now I'm going to show you an example of how this works. I coach a lot of high-level executives and female entrepreneurs. And so one of the thoughts that I pulled as our example is one that I think all of my clients, even I have thought at one time or another, right? So I'm going to take you through an example, and then after this live or after you watch this, when you go to the files, there's going to be a worksheet that gives you another example that explains what I just went through about the CTFAR, explains what each one of those is, and gives you an opportunity to start practicing for yourself. So in this example, let's say that my client, my entrepreneur client, me, whoever, and you can, this example could go for many things, but we're going to say that the circumstance is 0 sales in October. This is factual. There are a lot of ways you could say, I didn't make any sales, I didn't make any money. You could say that a ton of different ways. This is very factual. We could prove, everybody could prove, right, in this circumstance that no $0 were made in October, right? So let's say the client has the thought, it's not working. I'm sure all of us have had this thought when it comes to lots of things in life. It's not working in my relationship, it's not working in my finances, it's not working on my diet. So let's say the thought is it's not working, and the feeling created from that thought is discouraged. One thought per model, one feeling. You'll be tempted to have a lot of thoughts. It's not working. I thought it should work by now. Everything I try is failing. Like, you'll be tempted to have a lot of thoughts here. It's just one thought, because this one thought is creating this one feeling. So one thought, one feeling. And then when you get to your action line, that's where you really want to be very specific and ask yourself a lot of questions. So from discouraged, this person may say, well, I don't stick with anything. I keep changing methods. I keep trying to do all the things. I'm not consistent, right? So then I'm not showing up on social media. I'm not making any offers. I'm spending time on Facebook or on Instagram, and I'm looking at other people's work. A big one for a lot of us is I'm procrastinating. Or either consuming, like taking courses or watching videos, watching how-tos, like we're consuming because it feels like you're doing something when you're really just consuming and you're not putting that into action. Another one is research. I'm doing research, right? These are kind of all forms of procrastination. So what happens is our thoughts almost always show up in the result line. So think about it. If you're doing these things, you made 0 sales in October, and you're doing these things and not doing these things, right? You're not sticking with anything. You're not consistent. You're not making any offers. Then guess what? It's not working. You're proving it true through your actions. And your end result is that it's not working. This is so important, because when you see this, then you get to decide whether or not you want to keep this thought. Now, we're going to talk about next week challenging negative thoughts, but I want you to just kind of practice this and see what happens when you think a thought. Go through the process so you can see what actually happens when you think a negative thought. The way that I do this, every day I do a thought download. A thought download is literally just like it sounds. You are writing down all the thoughts that you're having that particular day. They might be positive, they might be negative, they may seem really random. It doesn't have to be deep. Sometimes on my thought download is like, I wonder what I'll eat for lunch today. I wonder what such and such is doing. Or it's random. It doesn't have to, all of your thoughts are not going to be deeper than deep. But then you'll find these very sneaky thoughts that show up. Thoughts like this: it's not working, which when you feel this, it feels very true. And again, your brain is like Google. So when you think this, your brain starts finding all the evidence to support that thought, right? So I want you to practice doing this for yourself so that you can see what happens when you think a thought. The point of this is not to, eventually we're going to get to creating new thoughts, but the point of this is not to jump out of this into something that makes us feel better. It's very important that you stay here long enough to see what happens when you think this, that you process what it feels like to be discouraged, and then you decide whether or not you want to keep that thought and create a different result. So it's a couple of steps to this, but I really want you guys to practice this. This is a game changer. This is a life changer. When you start paying attention to your thoughts and you connect the dots that your thought is the one giving you the result. It's not your boss, it's not your kids, your spouse, your past. It's none of those things. It's what you think about all of those things. And once you realize that, it gives you so much power and control over your results. So I want you guys to practice this. You can post any questions you have in the group. You can post your models in the group, and I'll look at your models and help you flesh it all the way out. But I want you guys to try this, because I'm telling you, it's a game changer. I do these every day, and it's amazing the things that I'm thinking that I'm not really even aware that I was thinking, and I'm not really even aware that it's why I have the result that I have. So I want you guys to try this. If you want to post your models in the group, please do that, and I'll give you feedback on it. If you want to send it to me privately, I'll give you feedback on it as well. And if you want to do a deeper dive, because obviously, you know, I go over this with my clients, but we take a deeper dive. If you are interested in that, I have spots available between now and the end of the year. So if you're interested in one-on-one coaching, I will put the link in the comments, and you can apply for one-on-one coaching. If you have questions about that, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Ladies, this is a game changer. You start to do this, I'm telling you, it changes everything, right? So that's all I have for today. Next week, we're going to talk about challenging these beliefs, and I'll tell you more about how I challenged the thought that I have, which was actually this thought. The project I was working on got pushed back, and it sent me in a tailspin, like a real tailspin. So I'll show you guys what I did to get out of that after going through this and processing this feeling. So I hope you guys have a great week. I'll see you next week, ladies. Bye.